"Adventurer!" you hear a voice. "I have another quest." You yawn and rub your bleary eyes. You'd like a bit more rest. No, that's not how this story works. You're going to have to choose. If you just let it all play out, you're only going to lose. And so it was. Our hero failed. No choices made at all. You didn't need a hurdle. You were happy just to fall. "Adventurer!" Oh, there you are. It's happened once again. The dragon stole my diamond. Now I can't control my men. The diamond has a power, and it's vital for my throne. I can't control the kingdom if I'm doing it alone. Go up to yonder mountain, kill the dragon if you must. You simply have to do it. You're the only one I trust. The king has got a worried frown. He's right to be concerned. The skeletons spell trouble, which he clearly hasn't learned. "I accept," you tell the king. "I'll get that rock tonight." "Oh, jolly good. Well, I'll stay here and watch your tent. All right?" You nod towards the coward king and take your trusty blade. Then with a quick farewell you turn and march across the glade. We'll skip past all the walking bits, 'cause frankly it's a bore. But by the time you leave the woods your feet are feeling sore. "No thanks," you calmly tell the king. "I don't need all that stress." The king stands round quite awkwardly. I thought that you'd say yes." "Well," you flash a little smile, "I didn't." "Yes, I see. It's a pity. What a shame. Oh, I guess I'll let you be." And so it was our hero lived, although the kingdom fell. Inside your little forest, though, you couldn't really tell. You opt to take the gentle path and come across a knight. "Draw!" he bellows angrily. He clearly wants to fight. You scramble up the cliffside, being careful as you go. You reckon you'll be safer if you take it nice and slow. You go to grab a boulder and it shifts beneath your weight. You quickly try to step aside. No luck, you move too late. You're fooling with the boulder as it tumbles through the sky. You'd better make this next choice quick or else you're going to die. You find a comfy little patch of grass, the perfect size. You lie down in the summer breeze and quickly rest your eyes. It's dark when you awaken, and the moon hangs overhead. You glance around and see a creepy sight, the walking dead. Surrounding you are skeletons, they glow an eerie light. You sit stock still and plan your course to sneak away or fight. You draw your sword and charge uphill, and focusing your might, you leap, your sword held overhead, and slash down at the knight. He blocks, you twist and strike again. Again your swords collide. He hits at you, you hit him back. You both dodge side to side. You give your all, he gives his too. Before too long you're done. Shall we just stop? The knight suggests. Look, I think I've had my fun. Reaching down, you grab a stick and start to draw the knight. No, not draw. I meant your sword. Hey, wait. That looks all right. I'll pose, okay? I'll stand like this. Yeah, this is my best side. Try to capture, if you can, my air of humble pride. Spectacular! You've got a gift. That's really made my day. The knight is so distracted. Could you simply run away? You look at him. He's pretty big. Perhaps you needn't fight. You tell yourself that you're still brave and flee the scary night. You concentrate and flap your arms, and much to your surprise, you can't fly. What did you expect? Of course you fall and die. And so it was, our hero died. You landed with a splat. It's honestly embarrassing to end it all like that. You cling to the gigantic rock and press your body flat. You close your eyes and hold your breath, just waiting for the splat. But splat you don't, instead you splash. You're glad you held your breath, because you landed in the sea and dodged an ugly death. You swim up to the surface and you take a look around. You realise just how close you were to hitting rocky ground. Lying back you have a rest, relaxed you calmly float. Away off in the distance then, you spot a massive boat. The skeletons are all around. You get up off your back. You draw your sword and dip your head to ready an attack. You swing your sword and hear a swish. It cuts right through dry bones. It makes a pleasant thwacking sound. The poor old creature groans. "Ah, ah," it says. "Ah, that's my head." "What do you do that for?" It bends to fetch its severed skull. "My goodness, that's quite sore." You right yourself to crouching, then you sneak without a sound. From bush to bush you dart about and make your way around. The skeletons don't spot you as you creep on up the hill. It mightn't be the bravest choice. It seems to work though still. You reach the top and spot the cave. It's pretty hard to miss. You brace yourself to go inside. Come on now, you've got this. "Okay," you say, "I've had enough." You stand to catch your breath. "I've never been a massive fan of fighting to the death." "Me neither," says the friendly knight. "Hi, my name's Sir Bob. I'm sorry for attacking you. It's just, well, that's my job. My task's to guard this sacred hill. A dragon lives up there." "Well, actually, the thing is, I'm just headed to its lair." "Well, why on earth would you do that? That thing is big and mean, and stole a diamond from the king." "Oh, right, I understand. I hate to ask, but can I come? You see, I'm pretty bored. By helping slay that ugly beast, I might become a lord." "I'll never stop," you tell the knight, and raise your sword once more. But as you swing it down at him, you stumble to the floor. Panting now, you swipe again. Again, a swing and miss. "Look," he says, "let's stop. It's cool. I've had enough of this." "Never!" You're defiant, though perhaps you're slow to learn. You thrash your sword from side to side. Your arms begin to burn. The knight stands back and watches as you flail at empty air. "I don't know what you want to do. Quite frankly, I don't care." With that, he simply walks away. You've won, though not with pride. Still, a win's a win, you tell yourself. At least you haven't died. You take your opportunity and dash off up the hill. While glancing back, you see the knight who's standing, posing still. You reach the top and spot the cave. It's pretty hard to miss. You brace yourself to go inside. "Come on now, you've got this." You stay to chat. This knight seems nice. He says his name's Sir Bob. You tell him about the king and how you're on a little job. "I hate to ask, but can I come? See, here I'm pretty bored. Perhaps if I help slay the beast, they'd let me be a lord." The knight is lost to vanity. They're posing as you sketch. You seize the opportunity to strike the little wretch. "Yaha!" you shriek. Your sword swings down. You caught the man off guard. He staggers back and hits the ground. You got him pretty hard. You wait for him to right himself. He doesn't. He lies flat. I think I'd feel a little bad for doing stuff like that. You heave yourself back onto land. You're sodden, soaked right through. You shiver, cold. You look around and wonder what to do. Yarr! You hear as you approach the boat. Well, let's say ship. You see the flag is flying, and your optimism dips. Pirates. Yarr! I said. Hello, my friend. Come up and have some tea. What you doing bobbing round? You know this is the sea. Oh gosh, I'm sorry. I didn't. I thought you couldn't speak. So then you hit me with a sword? No, sorry, dude, that's weak. I thought you guys were monsters. Well, we're not. I'm such a fool. I apologize. I'm dumb. Don't worry, man. It's cool. The skeleton, with skull in hand, says, Have you seen our king? You take a breath and calmly say, Well, listen, here's the thing. Ignoring its most friendly tone, you hit the brute once more. The skeletons around you all release an angry roar. They charge at you. You hack away, slashing left and right. Every time you knock one down, it gets back up to fight. Quite soon, you're overwhelmed by them. They're swarming through the trees, with no room left to swing your sword. You make your final pleas. And so it was our hero died. The skeletons weren't cruel. Perhaps it's not my place to say, you acted like a fool. You creep inside the dragon's lair. The air feels cool and damp. It might have been a good idea to bring a little lamp. Pitch black surrounds you as you go. You tread uneven ground. A little way ahead you hear an awful rumbling sound. Your pace is slow as on you press. Your feet makes not a peep. At last you sense the dragon's near. You guess that it's asleep. Not today, you tell yourself. You turn and walk away. The king can wait. I think it's fine. I'll come another day. And so it was our hero fled. You never did come back. And while indeed it wasn't brave, you weren't a dragon's snack. So bob in tow, you climb the hill and spot the dragon's cave. You've only got one option here, so Bob thinks that you're brave. You stride inside, the air is cool, though sunlight filters through. You hear a distant rumbling, away ahead of you. You hold a finger to your mouth, and Bob makes not a peep, as he and you creep slowly through the dragon's rocky keep. And there it lies, the dragon, resting top a pile of gold. On seeing this humongous beast, you start to feel less bold. I'm sorry, Bob, but better not. You know how these things go. The king entrusted me with this. You're someone I don't know. Oh, fair enough. Bob looks upset. You say goodbye and then you make your way alone uphill towards the dragon's den. The cave is simply cavernous, as caves can often be. The air is cool and dank and dark, but light enough to see. You grit your teeth and scramble over dodgy, rocky ground. Away ahead you hear a distant, awful rumbling sound. As on you push into the depths, the noise just grows and grows, until you feel the rumbling vibrating through your toes. And there it is, the dragon. It seems to be asleep, atop a pile of treasure which, you guess, it wants to keep. Exhausted now, you make your way quite slowly up the track. You spot the dragon's cave ahead and think of turning back. How dare you try to walk away, you bellow at the knight. You're a coward, you're a wimp, we're going to end this fight. The knight turns round and laughs at you. Okay, he says, you're dead. He calmly takes his sword in hand and then removes your head. And so it was our hero died. You're foolish, yes, but brave. More's the shame you didn't even see the dragon's cave. You head into the dragon's lair, traversing rocky ground. You hear a distant rumbling that echoes all around. You walk with trepidation. In truth, you're racked with fear. Hey you, come back, you hear a shout. You're not allowed in here. You turn around and see the knight, the same one from before. And just as you begin to speak, you hear a frightful roar. The darkness of the cave abates as somewhere far ahead, the rocky walls illuminate with something glowing red. Bending down, you check the knight. He's breathing just about. But one thing's fairly certain. You can say you won this bout. You leave the poor man lying there. He's fine, or dead, who cares? He'll make a very pleasant dish for wolves, big cats, or bears. As you're walking up the hill, you hum a little tune. Well, this is shaping up to be a pleasant afternoon. You reach the top and spot the cave. It's pretty hard to miss. You brace yourself to go inside. Come on now, you've got this. You bend to check the fallen knight. He's not got much to take. A picture of his wife and kids, some scraps of bread and steak. You steal it all and take his sword. Although it's worse than yours, you'll get some copper pieces if you sell it at the stores. With that, you leave him lying there and head back up the hill. On the way, you contemplate if you're a hero still. You reach the top and spot the cave. It's pretty hard to miss. You brace yourself to go inside. Come on now, you've got this. You gather up some kindling and larger chunks of wood. Before too long, you're dry and warm. In fact, you're feeling good. And lying there, you fall asleep. You wake up with a fright and spot a group of skeletons aglow with eerie light. Despite the fact you're soaking wet, you make it up the hill. You spot the cave. It's huge and dark. It must be colder still. Inside the cave, you stumble over rough and rocky ground. You head towards a distant, awful, scary rumbling sound. And there it is, the dragon, fast asleep upon its stash. You wonder if just rushing in like this was kind of brash. The captain helps you climb aboard. "We've company!" he cries. "Quick, go into the cabins, boy, and fetch the nice supplies." You try to say that you're okay. "I've eaten, thanks, and the boy brings back a cask of rum, then shoves it in your hand. A toast to our new friend!" the captain loudly roars. "Yah-har!" The pirates cheer. They watch. And then an awkward pause. Go on then. Drink. Come on." Pirates aren't your cup of tea. You wave and swim to shore. You're almost back to solid ground, but hear the captain roar. "Fire!" he bellows. What? You think? That makes no sense at all. You're in the sea, there can't be flames. And then a cannonball. You tell the skelly about your quest, the king, the dragon too. "Oh, cool," the skeleton replies. "Well, we'll just follow you." And so you make your way uphill with skeletons in tow. The cave is huge and dank and dark. The skellies have their glow. You try to keep them quiet as you sneak on rocky ground. But skeletons are noisy things. Their bones make clanking sounds. Then, further down the tunnel, there's a terrifying sight. A silhouetted dragon flying through an orange light. No, you say. The king? Who's that? You're not the best at lies. The skelly's face is hard to read, but still, you clock surprise. The king, you know. He wears a crown, yay high and kind of old. I don't know many people yet. I'm new here, truth be told. You're new? Like, to the country? Yeah, I got here yesterday. Look, I'd love to stay and chat, but I just must be on my way. You give a friendly little wave and bid them all adieu, checking as you walk away that they're not coming too. You reach the top and spot the cave. It's pretty hard to miss. You brace yourself to go inside. Come on now, you've got this. Dragon! You shout. The dragon stirs. You hear it shift its weight. Without a single word it moves. You realise far too late. The last thing that you think of as the dragon eats your head. Dragons are not friendly beasts. And now it seems you're dead. And so it was our hero died within the dragon's cave. Calling to a sleeping beast is stupid, but it's brave. Oh, Bob, the king says merrily. What a nice surprise. He doesn't even notice as you try to catch his eyes. Hello, I've got your diamond, you smile at him and say. You helped this poor adventurer? Oh, what a lucky day. And so it was our story ends. Bob became a lord. The king, who barely noticed you, then gave you no reward. Listen, Bob, I have a plan. He listens as you tell. To your surprise, he's happy. He says only, might as well. So you command the skeletons, you conquer all the land, and Bob remains beside you, serving as the ruler's hand. And so it was, our story ends. You didn't do your quest, but still you took the kingdom, and this ending is the best. In the darkness of the cave, you feel your way about. You're inches from the dragon. You can feel its steaming snout. Your hands sift through the treasure, neath the giant sleeping brute. Gold coins and ingots, gems and pearls, a lifetime's worth of loot. Dragon! You shout. The dragon stirs. Bob looks at you with dread. The dragon pulls its body up and rears its giant head. You see some steam come billowing from out the dragon's snout. It's going to burn us! Quickly, run! You tell Bob in a shout. Before you get 2 steps away, it happens in a flash. You and Bob turn crispy black, a pile of powdered ash. And so it was, our hero died. Perhaps it wasn't wise to wake a sleeping dragon that is 50 times your size. You start to grab the treasure, taking fistfuls at a time. The dragon stole it anyway, so this can't be a crime. Forget about the diamond, you quietly tell Bob. If we can keep just some of this, we'll never need a job. Your pockets full to bursting point, you creep your way back out. Bob turns round, his sword in hand. How could you, Bob? You shout. Just give me all the treasure, and no one needs get hurt. He tells you rather coldly as he puts you in the dirt. He rifles through your pockets. Then he takes a length of rope, ties you up and goes to leave. You haven't got a hope. Careful not to make a sound, you search the massive pile. You have an awful feeling this will take you quite a while. But then you glance at Bob. He's stopped. There's something in his hand. The diamond! There's an awkward pause. You think you understand. "Dragon!" you shout. The dragon stirs, it roars and takes a breath before it shoots a gust of flames which spell your instant death. And so it was, our story ends. The hero burned to ash. It turns out waking dragons up is absolutely brash. You start to grab the treasure, taking fistfuls at a time. The dragon stole it anyway, so this can't be a crime. Your pockets full to bursting point, you creep your way back out. You get to safety down the hill. "I'm rich! Woohoo!" you shout. And so it was, our story ends, with mountain loads of gold. The kingdom fell, you moved abroad, grew happy, rich and old. You fumble round in silence, moving treasure bit by bit. And then you catch a glimpse. "No way! I'm pretty sure that's it." The dragon's head is pretty close. You feel its steaming snout. As carefully you grab the gem and slowly pull it out. You feel a surge of power running up into your arm. The fear you felt evaporates, replaced by peace and calm. As daylight's getting dimmer, you enter in the cave. It's dark and damp, you're tired and cold and feeling less than brave. You make your way in darkness over rough and rocky ground. The only thing that guides you is a distant rumbling sound. Then suddenly the rumble stops, you stand and hold your breath. The roar that echoes round the cave then scares you half to death. You make the odd decision to sleep beside the lair, and when you wake, it's no surprise a dragon's standing there. Conversely, though, the skeletons do come as a surprise. "Okay then, dragon, this means war. We've had it with your lies." There stand at least 100 of the bony once had skin. And all at once you hear them cry, "The diamond lies within!" And then it's pandemonium, just chaos, it's a mess. Clanky bones and dragon roars, a war and nothing less. Standing tall, you draw your blade. The dragon comes in sight. In seconds, it's upon you, then a massive flash of light. And so it was, our hero burned. You had no hope in hell. If it's any comfort, though, the knight was killed as well. You dive behind a massive rock and keep tucked out of sight. The dragon soars above you, heading straight towards the knight. You see a flash and hear a scream. I'll save you from the gore, crunching bones and tearing flesh. With that, I'll say no more. Bravely, you turn round and run. Although it's hard to see, you get outside in record time and dive behind a tree. The knight stands in the entrance. He's genuinely brave. But then a massive ball of flames erupts from out the cave. And just like that, the night is done. The dragon starts to eat. You try to block the sounds of dragon teeth on human meat. You gently slap the fallen knight until he comes back to. He looks a little fuzzy-brained and says, "And who are you?" You leave the knight. He'll be all right, or maybe not. Who cares? Perhaps he'll make a pleasant meal for wolves, big cats, or bears. You carry on the gentle path that leads you to the lair. Who knows what tribulations lie awaiting you in there? The cave is dark and damp and cool, its rocky ground is rough. You sneak quite carefully. The going's very tough. Away ahead you hear a sound, a rumble very deep. You will your way towards it, trying not to make a peep. Slow and steady, step by step, you feel you're growing near. The rumbling shakes your body, and it magnifies your fear. And there it is, the dragon, lying on its bed of gold. You're tempted by the treasure. You could use it, truth be told. Just inches from the giant beast, your heart is full of dread. "Adventurer!" you hear a scream. "I'm coming in! You're dead!" The knight. He must have woken up. You give a worried sigh. You glance up at the dragon, and you see an opened eye. The cave is dark and damp and cool. Its rocky ground is rough. You make your way through carefully, although the going is tough. As you go, you hear a sound, a rumble, loud and deep. You sneak towards it, trying not to make a peep. With every step you take, you feel the rumble grow and grow, until it shakes your body, sending shivers head to toe. And there it is, the dragon, asleep atop its gold. With 2 swords in your hand, you're weirdly feeling pretty bold. You charge the nearest skeleton, your sword held overhead. You bring it down with all your might and strike the monster dead. Well, dead-er, I guess I ought to say. And even that's not true. The skeleton stands up again and kind of frowns at you. "Dude, what was that? That really hurt." Sorry," you say. The skelly army turns around and starts to walk your way. "Hey, skeletons," you call to them. "Hey, guys, are you all right?" "Hey, bro," a friendly skelly says. "What brings you here tonight?" "I just did a spot of swimming. Now I'm headed back to home." "How about all you lot? This is kind of far to roam." "We're looking for our diamond. Well, for that or for the king. I can't believe that idiot just went and lost the thing." I could help you with your search. I've nothing much to do." "Oh, brilliant! That's wonderful. That's really kind of you." "Brash it is then. That seems wise." "Hey, dragon!" you call out. The monster's eyes snap open, and thick smoke pours out its snout. You barely even see the flash. You also don't feel hot. One moment you're just standing there, and then, the next, you're not. And so it was, our story ends. Our hero burnt to ash. Perhaps it would be wise of you to be a bit less brash. By this point you're a frozen mess. You're shaking from the cold. But still you force your clumsy hands to shift through piles of gold. Just as you start losing hope, your body's giving out. You glance up at the sleeping beast and notice by its snout, the diamond is a short-lived joy. You heave a heavy sigh as, just as you reach out your hand, you see an open eye. Your hands are shaky, clumsy, numb. You're struggling with cold, but still you manage just about to steal a bit of gold. You pocket it and back away, then slowly creep outside. It would be nice to grab some more, but not if you had died. You bought yourself another tent, forgot about the king, and lived like you had always done, with more adventuring. And so it was, our hero lived. Although the quest did fail, it wasn't long before you found another epic tale. You take a swig and down it goes. The pirates round you cheer. "You're one of us!" the captain roars. "A pirate now, me dear." "You what?" you splutter. "Hey, me voice! Why do I sound like ye?" "A pirate till your dying breath. That's how it works, you see. But I were on another quest. A diamond for the king." "A diamond? Well, that's perfect then. You know, treasure is our thing." The captain steers the ship to shore. You pirates disembark. You lead them up the gentle slope and then into the dark. As pirates, you're not quiet folk. You're loud and brash and crude. The dragon hears as you approach and frankly thinks you're rude. It roars, a sound quite frightening, though pirates don't get scared. "Here we go! It's fighting time! Ready, lads? Prepared!" The dragon charges through the cave. The pirates hold their ground. In a flash there's chaos, screams and shouting all around. The dragon's fire is stifling. The cannons fire their balls. The very cave is rumbling, and chunks fall off its walls. You watch the war that's raging, and it seems an even fight. The pirates with their numbers, and the beast with all its might. You smell the rum. It smells like rum, which isn't a surprise, but still you do not take a swig. Thanks, but no thanks, guys. What? The pirate captain shouts. Just drink, he shouts again. When you slowly shake your head, he signals to his men. Oh, you could have been a pirate, he sneers an angry sneer. But now you've gone and made me mad. Good luck to you, me dear. Feed 'em to the crocodiles, the pirate captain grins. Do you have some final words before your end begins? For brave decisions, I would say there is a time and place. Perhaps not when a cannonball is flying at your face. And so it was, our hero died, the pirates hit their mark. Despite your somewhat wasted life, your body fed a shark. You swim as fast as you can go, while snaking left and right. The pirates chasing after you are eager for a fight. You sprint across the sandy beach and risk a quick look back. You see the pirates off their ship maintaining their attack. Your legs are burning as you go, now dashing up the hill. At the top you look back down, the pirates chasing still. You see the cave and have no choice, there's nowhere else to go. Inside is dark and damp and cold, your pace begins to slow. The pirates now are close behind, they've entered in the den. You've had it now, you little rat, they bellow. But just then... You draw your sword and stand your ground. A fierce roar shakes the cave. But with the skellies by your side, you're feeling pretty brave. The dragon spits its fire breath. You fling yourself aside, then cut back in towards the beast and slash down as you stride. Your sword cuts deep between its scales. The dragon turns its head. Thick smoke is pouring out its nose. You figure that you're dead. But then the skeletons pile on. They overwhelm the foe. Within the messy pile of bones, you see a fiery glow. The dragon, pinned by skeletons, you climb upon its back. You wait to see a spot of flesh, and then you start to hack. Eventually, the screaming stops, the dragon lying still. You slump down to the rocky ground and contemplate your kill. You glance at all the skeletons, much fewer than before. You notice broken bones are strewn across the cavern floor. The diamond, you remember, so you press on through the lair and find a room of golden gems and see the diamond there. Reaching down, you grab the thing. The moment that you do, the skeletons all stop and turn. They stand and stare at you. You jump behind a big old rock, the hero that you are. The skeletons and dragon fight, you watch it from afar. It seems to be an even match. The skellies seem quite strong, and every time the dragon strikes, they don't stay down for long. You watch the skellies swarm the beast. There's nowhere it can go. If only someone with a sword could make the final blow. The cave is dark and damp and cold. The rocky ground is rough. You try to sneak in silently, but honestly, it's tough. You get 100 feet or so, and then you hear the sound of countless clanky, bony feet upon the rocky ground. You turn around, and sure enough, the skelly's eerie glow. That sound is going to get you killed. The light is helpful, though. You hide behind a big old rock and hear a massive roar. The skeletons have no idea just what they've got in store. It happens in an instant. The dragon just appears. Fire and screams and broken bones and roars and snarls and sneers. You search the pile of treasure. It's harder than you'd feared. Just endless coins and gems and pearls. Then your hand hits something weird. It's big and tough like leather, and uneven like a snake. It's only when it starts to move you realise your mistake. "Hey, no! Come back, you little rat! You toe rag! You're a snake!" You're shouting loudly as you can. The ground begins to shake. Bob quickly glances back around. "Shh! Quiet! Look! Okay!" But then a giant, angry roar. The dragon comes this way. In seconds, it's on top of Bob. You feel its fiery breath. And now it's Bob who's crying out. He dies a painful death. You dare not move a muscle as the dragon glances round. It doesn't spot you tied up on the dirty, dusty ground. Eventually it goes back in. You wriggle till you're free and walk to where the knight once stood and drop down on your knee. The melted gold has puddled while it's hot to handle still. You grab a massive clump of it and dash off down the hill. And so it was our story ends. Betrayal, bittersweet. While you got out with loads of cash, Sir Bob became smoked meat. You lie down in the dusty dirt as Bob just strolls away. "I'll get you, Bob, I promise you. I'll come back for you one day." And so it was, our story ends. You lying in the dirt. More than failing in your quest, betrayal really hurt. Eventually, you got away and lived to tell the tale. You never did revenge your loss or make up for this fail. You quickly snatch the diamond, turn around and start to run. "Hey!" Bob shouts. The dragon roars. You know that Bob is done. You dare not even glance behind. You power on ahead. Wasting just a second here would leave you also dead. You feel the dragon close behind. You hear it suck in air. You're meters from the entrance, and you dive roll out his lair. The flames that blast out after you just miss. You're running still, head down, sprinting all the way, careening down the hill. Glancing up, you spot them. There's 100, maybe more, skeletons just standing there. You hear the dragon roar. He starts to laugh maniacally. The dragon moves its back. "It's mine!" Bob bellows, smiling wide. "Skeletons, attack!" You watch the dragon lift its head. No skeletons appear. "Skeletons!" Bob says again. You note a hint of fear. "Skeletons?" Bob says once more, before the dragon bites. As the diamond flies away, you keep it in your sights. "Awaken, sleeping dragon!" you shout into its face. "I have the magic diamond. I am king. I rule this place." The dragon's eyes snap open. You catch its little sneer, and just like that, it bites you. You're dead. No pain, no fear. And so it was, our story ends. You weren't the dragon's king. That's not how the diamond works. But still, you learnt something. With the diamond in your hand, you sneak back out the lair. It feels amazing stepping out into the evening air. You amble calmly down the hill. You did it. You're amazed. And then you spot the skeletons just standing there. They're dazed. You see about 100, but you know there's many more. At first it's kind of creepy, but you've heard of this before. You dive behind a big old rock and hide with all your might. The dragon soars above your head and off into the light. The dragon gone, you right yourself and brush away the dirt. You're glad you didn't fight the thing. You guess that would have hurt. But with the dragon out the way, you're free to search its den. You find a massive pile of gold. You dig around, and then the diamond! So you grab it. It's cool, but feels intense. It's got a hidden power, something special you can sense. You take a few more scraps of gold as payment for your time. The dragon stole it anyway, so this can't be a crime. With that, you turn and head outside into the evening breeze. And as you walk back down the hill, You see them in the trees. They're skeletons, a ton of them. They stand stock still and stare. You have a little hunch you know just why they're standing there. The dragon looks a bit surprised to see you in its lair. It does a little double take while flying in the air, but then it sweeps itself back round and takes a massive breath before it shoots a stream of flames that spell your certain death. And so it was, our hero died. No diamonds, gems or gold. Still, on the other hand, at least you don't feel cold. You watch the skeletons attack. They swarm the beast like bees, completely overwhelming it. They bring it to its knees. The dragon isn't helpless though. You see it fighting back. As bones go soaring all around, you run in and attack. The dragon thrashes with its tail and slashes with its claws. You see an awful glowing light emitting from its jaws. You dash to get in close to it and thrust up with your blade. You somehow find the dragon's throat. That's where fire is made. A blinding flash, the loudest bang. You're thrown into the air. You sail about 100 feet towards the dragon's lair. You hit the dusty, rocky ground, a ringing in your ears. But once you get your senses back, you hear the skellies' cheers. You glance to where the dragon was. It's nowhere to be found. The only clue that it was there, a crater in the ground. You watch the skellies dance about, quite happy with their win. They seem to be quite friendly things, despite their lack of skin. You leave the monsters fighting as you sneak into the lair. You quickly find a room of gold and spot the diamond there. You feel a surge of power as you grab the shiny rock. Grabbing it, you rush outside and get a nasty shock. The skeletons are standing still, just standing, watching you. It's almost like they've lost their minds, forgotten what to do. The dragon is distracted with its fresh and crunchy snack. You sneak in deeper to its cave and find its golden stack. A mountain's worth of treasure, the diamond at the top. You start to climb the metal pile, but something makes you stop. The dragon. It's the dragon. Now it's standing next to you. You only have a second to decide what you should do. Too slow. It breathes its dragon breath. You're swallowed by the fire. The gold around you shifts and melts, and that's how you expire. And so it was, our story ends. Our hero failed defeat. Your bones do have a coat of gold. I guess that's kind of neat. You heard the dragon crunch his bones. There's nothing left to save. Still, that doesn't stop you, because you're nothing if not brave. Oi, dragon! You approach the fiend. You catch the beast off guard. It makes an awful coughing sound, like swallowing is hard. You watch the dragon choking on a piece of armoured knight. I mean, technically, you slayed it, and that's what matters, right? The dragon gone, you walk back in and find its pile of gold. The diamond, when you find it, has a touch that's really cold. It seems to have a power that you feel surge through your hand. When you get back down the hill, you start to understand, for there ahead are skeletons. They're standing eerily. They don't respond despite the fact you say, "Hi," cheerily. The dragon is distracted, devouring its feast. You hold your breath and sneak your way around the fearsome beast. Inside you take a tunnel, and it leads to piles of gold. Treasures stolen by the beast, their stories all untold. A mountain's worth of treasure, and the diamond at the top. You start to climb the metal pile, but something makes you stop. "Surprise!" growls the dragon, and you can't believe your ears. You speak?" you splutter to the beast. It only sneers. You start to introduce yourself. It breathes its fire breath. Before you said, "Hi, my name's..." You die a tragic death. And so it was, our hero died. The quest came to an end. It's just a shame the dragon didn't want a little friend. The dragon eats the poor old knight. You feel enough's enough. 'cause while you're big and brave and all, the sight is pretty rough. You run back down the way you came, and then you never stop. Forget the king, forget your tent, you'll go and start a shop. And so it was our story ends. Adventuring was fun, until it wasn't. That was that. You decided you were done. You run and take a flying leap, a powerful attack. You drive your sword with all your might into the dragon's back. Your sword goes in, the dragon yelps, it flaps its wings and flies. And clinging to the shiny hilt, you're dragged into the skies. It loops the loop and barrel rolls. You're hanging on secure. The sword is deep, it doesn't budge. Your grip is strong and sure. I guess I'm an adventurer. I knocked you to the ground. Look, why not come up here with me? There's treasure to be found. Oh, okay then. And who am I? I don't know anything. You're a knight. You charged at me. I'm working for the king. Oh, I'm sorry. That's not good. I'll help you with your job. Wait. I'm starting to remember. Yes, I think my name's Sir Bob. You lead him in the dragon's cave and whisper, "Keep it down." His face is gently twisted in a puzzled-looking frown. You creep ahead quite quickly, leaving Bob a bit behind. This cave is really dangerous. Who knows what you might find? Oh, a dragon! Oi, adventurer! It's dangerous in here! Your stomach drops. You freeze, consumed by anger, dread, and fear. The dragon gives a mighty roar, awoken from its sleep. You dive behind a big old rock, an acrobatic leap. I saw you there. Asleep, I thought, or dead. The knight sits up. And who am I? He says and rubs his head. You're, my apprentice. Yes, your name is, it's Ray. We're on a special mission, which we have to do today. What is it that we have to do? Well, you have to go up there and find the special diamond that's inside the dragon's lair. And you? I'll wait right here for you. It's like a little test. You'll graduate from training if you finish this last quest. Okay, Ray says, and off he goes. He's probably concussed. You really are a piece of work, betraying someone's trust. You scream in high-pitched terror, and the dragon shakes its head. It seems you found a tactic. And maybe you're not dead. You scream again. The dragon bites. You're shorter than before. And dead. I guess your tactic failed, but at least we know for sure. And so it was, our story ends. You fed the dragon well. Without the magic diamond saved, the king and kingdom fell. You quickly grab your trusty sword and stab the dragon's eye. It screeches loudly, shakes its head, then looking sad says, "Why?" "Wait, you can speak?" you ask the beast. It answers and just roars, then charges down its rocky cave and flies away outdoors. You look around its treasure room. The diamond's quick to find. You grab it, turn around to leave. The knight is close behind. He holds his sword aggressively. His face looks stern and cruel. "I want that magic diamond!" It's going to be a duel. "Awaken, little dragon!" You're sounding cool as heck. The dragon lifts its giant head. You slash down at its neck. The dragon roars. The fight begins. You're thrashing left and right. It breathes the blast of fire at you. You're blinded by the light. But still you roll and strike the beast. You're using all your skill. Dash and cut and slash and slice. You sense the coming kill. The dragon snaps its giant jaws. You backstep, then attack. Your swords both find their targets, and the giant beast falls back. It groans, and then it doesn't. It's lying in the gold. You just slayed a dragon. That was awesome, truth be told. You find the diamond quickly, then you walk back out the lair. Dragon blood and sweat and dirt are all tangled in your hair. Back down the hill you see a group of skeletons. They stand stock still. just staring straight towards the diamond in your hand. Two swords are great for fighting, but for searching they're quite bad. Your prodding at the pile of gold just makes the dragon mad. You see, it's noisy, sword on gold. You wake the sleeping beast. Before you even know it's up, it's had you as a feast. And so it was, our story ends. You were a dragon's snack. Next time, if you have another chance, with two swords, just attack. You charge the skelly army, whirling wildly with your sword. Hacking monsters left and right, you face the awful horde. But every time you hack one down, it rises up again, almost like they're magic, walking bones of long dead men. You fight and fight. They gather round and start to grab at you. Before too long, you're overwhelmed. There's nothing more to do. And so it was. Our hero died. I'll spare you all the gore. But let's just say your blood and guts were splattered on the floor. Oh gosh, I'm sorry, that was bad. My friend, are you okay? I'm fine. It happens, don't feel bad. I'll heal in like a day. So what are you all doing here? We need to find the king. The skeletons all look at you. Well, here's the thing. You lead them up the mountain, then inside the dragon's lair. With the skellies by your side, this fight should be quite fair. Skeletons aren't quiet, though. So while you'd like to sneak, they march on bones that make some noise. They crack and crunch and creak. Before too long, the dragon roars. You spot its silhouette. You have 10 seconds to decide how best to face this threat. You lead them through the forest back to where you left the king. It doesn't take too long to tell. You've done an awful thing. The skeletons attack at once. They tear the king apart. His final words, he says to you, "Haven't you a heart?" And so it was. Our story ends. You failed to do your quest. You never told another soul. And I think that's for the best. You stab the dragon in its eye. It shrieks and screams in pain. "Arr, that hurt, you little twerp!" Its voice full of disdain. Sorry," you call after it. The monster flies away. You're so surprised to hear it speak, you don't know what to say. You grab the magic diamond, feel a further wave of cold, so quickly you get out the cave and leave the piles of gold. You rush back down the gentle path, and there, right by the hill, you see a group of skeletons, just standing, deathly still. You quickly snatch the diamond, and you feel a surge of cold. You turn to run, but in your haste you slip upon the gold. The dragon right behind you takes a raspy, rattling breath. The fire it breathes is nice and warm, but spells your certain death. And so it was, our story ends. The chill had turned you blue. Thank goodness for the dragon, who was there to heat you through. You run towards the dragon, shouting pirate stuff galore. "Yar, me hearties, yar, you dug! Let's settle us this score!" You slash and strike the dragon, dodging left and right with ease. It doesn't take you pirates long to bring it to its knees. And once it's down, it's finished. All the pirates jump aboard. They deal the beast one final blow, then go and loot its hoard. Before too long, the gold's all gone, the treasure room picked clean. These pirates are efficient, ruthless, greedy, crass and mean. Then, when you reach the pirate ship, the treasure's all split up. You get some coins, a pearl, and gems, and a big old golden cup. And so it was, our story ends. You went to sail the sea, and lived your life harassing folk, and causing misery. You sneak towards the treasure room to see what's waiting there. The pirates seem to be all right, and frankly, you don't care. You find the piles of bounty, riches far beyond your dreams. enough to make you just block out the fighting pirates' screams. You search the stacks for things to take. There's coins and cups and crowns. No, this one's not quite nice enough. And then you see their frowns. The pirates, bruised and bloody, are gathered round your side. I was looking for, sorry. I want him gagged and tied. They tie you up and loot the gold, then leave you there to rot. You squirm about to free yourself, but sadly you cannot. And so it was, our story ends. It's very sad but true, that pirates, literal pirates mind, were more honourable than you. You think and figure, what's the use? You're going off the side. At least if you stay silent, you can keep a little pride. And so it was, our story ends. They made you walk the plank. With arms and legs all tied in place, our hero sadly sank. I've lived my life as well as any here, at times in dread, in others full of glee. What's coming I embrace, I have no fear, for I am one with everything that be. I could have been a pirate much like you, confined to oceans, floating on a box. But you've not breathed the mountain's morning hue, nor walked in clouds, nor slept upon the rocks. Adventurers can venture out to sea. Adventurers can roam across the land. Unlike you pirates, we are really free. Our journeys do not stop upon the sand. Why would you seek to make me join your crew, when I have the very world to offer you? The pirates stand in silenced awe before the captain speaks. That were beautiful. I hate the sea. I'd like to come, he squeaks. You dive behind a big old rock and see the dragon soar. Straight to where the pirates stand, again you hear its roar. The fighting is barbaric, swords and fire and claws and teeth. The dragon near the ceiling with the pirates underneath. The pirates are behind you, leaving nowhere you can run. So now to fight the dragon, you never know, it might be fun. It's not. The dragon flies at you and breathes its fiery breath. And just like that, it's over. Painful, silly, instant death. And so it was, our hero died, a pile of smoking ash. Perhaps to stand and face the beast, in hindsight, was quite brash. Please follow me, you tell them, and you start to travel back. The skeletons all follow you, in silence, down the track. Please jump, you check. They jump as one. Please clap. Please shout, hooray! You test a bunch of silly things. They do all that you say. You lead them back towards the tent to go and end your quest. But when you spot the wimpy king, you think, perhaps it's best. The power of the diamond is quite scary to behold. It's a power that, no matter what, may never be controlled. You drop the diamond on the ground, and with your sword you smash. Fragmenting into tiny shards, the diamond fades to ash. The skeletons around you fall, their bones just bones again. You walk away, your head held high, and leave the dragon's den. And so it was, our story ends. Our hero failed their quest, but you slayed a mighty dragon and put dead folk back to rest. It seems to you this power that the magic diamond bears controls a living creature, and it seems a bit unfair. And living, yeah, debatable. But it's really not your choice. They clearly have some agency, so you let them use their voice. You give the magic diamond to a skeleton nearby. It snaps out of its vacant trance and says a quick goodbye. And that was it. They left the cave and went to start a war. They took over the country, and they left its people poor. And so it was, our story ends. You crowned a skelly king, and ethically, you're pretty sure, you did the honourable thing. You run in with your sword held high and stab down at its back. Your sword goes deep, it finds its mark. A brutal, quick attack. And just like that, the dragon dies. You take a moment's rest, but quickly you remember that you're on a vital quest. You run towards the treasure room. You have to get there first. You grab the magic diamond and its power. It feels cursed. The skeletons will stop in place. They stand and look at you. It's almost like they're waiting, like they don't know what to do. You sit and watch the skeletons and dragon as they fight. Despite your urge to get involved, the moment's never right. And then the tides begin to turn. The dragon starts to win. The skeletons stop getting up. Their numbers start to thin. Eventually, there's no more left, just bones across the ground. The dragon roars in victory. It slowly turns around. You think you see it smiling as it spots you in the dark. The fire it breathes is instant, and of course it finds its mark. And so it was our story ends. You waited for too long. I know you thought the bones would win. You now know that was wrong. You leave the monsters fighting and sneak further in the cave. Attacking them is just a choice. It wouldn't make you brave. You spot a massive pile of gold, the diamond at the top. You pick it up, and just like that, the fighting seems to stop. You sit and watch the monsters fight. They put on quite a show. Fire, explosions, screams and shouts. You clap and cheer, bravo! They hear you and they're not impressed. As one, they cease to fight. This isn't a spectator sport. Just reel it in, all right? The dragon gives no second chance. You see it take a breath and shoot huge flames towards you, which just spell your certain death. And so it was, our hero died. You didn't need to cheer. Perhaps next time, just keep it down, with angry monsters near. The dragon hoists you off the ground. You're clinging to its face. It shakes and launches in the air at quite the frightening pace. It hurtles down the corridor and out into the sky. Up into the clouds it soars. You're simply silly high. You hold your breath and stand stock still. You think it's time to prove. The dragon's sight is limited. They see you if you move. You've heard it said a lot of times. It's common dragon lore. But no adventurers you know have tested it before. And look at that. It isn't true. The dragon bites your head. On one hand, you learn something new. The other, though, you're dead. And so it was, our story ends. You furthered science, though. Well, really, no one saw you die, so I guess they'll never know. Help! You scream. The skeletons all rush to get your back. They lurch towards the flying beast and ready their attack. In seconds, they're all fighting. It's a mess of bones and claws. The air is full of shouts and screams and blasts of angry roars. You dash past all the skeletons. They're creepy, you're afraid. You keep on running till you reach the little grassy glade. The king is standing by your tent. The dragon's on your tail. You're so close you can taste it. This quest just cannot fail. You throw the magic diamond in an arc across the sky. Your aim is good. It finds the king and gets him in the eye. Ow! You hear him grumble. It's the last thing he can say before the dragon scoops him up and carries him away. But that is no concern of yours. You finished with your quest. Like, yeah, this ending might not be that good. It's clearly not the best. But so it was. Our story ends. The diamond reached the king. Technically, you did your job. And that's the important thing. You rush to catch the diamond, pluck it neatly from the air, and then you're off. You've bolted from the dragon's rocky lair. You dare not take a glance behind. You're sprinting down the hill. You spot a group of skeletons standing there, stock still. You stand and watch the dragon as it eats the poor old knight. You're hoping that it dozes off. You'd quite like not to fight. It doesn't. It's unfortunate, but dragons love to eat. It can see you standing there. You're basically just meat. And so it was, our story ends. You tasted pretty nice. In future, though, the dragon would prefer a little spice. Come here, you tell the skeletons, as one they move to you. Sit down, they sit. Stand up, they stand. You tell them what to do. And suddenly it comes to you. Go set me up as king. The skeletons go off at once and handle everything. You walk into the palace. You're the ruler of the land. You think about the weak old king, and now you understand. And so it was, our story ends. You lived to be the king. You failed your quest, but in the end, you gained most everything. You head back through the forest, and you go and find the king. He's sitting there, not doing much. My lord, good news I bring. Adventurer, my diamond, oh my goodness, you're the best. You did it, you're amazing. Would you like another quest? And so it was, our story ends. You got a nice reward. A little pouch of gold and jewels you traded for a sword. They have a full-blown party, full of dancing, songs and cheer. You join in with the skeletons, a smile from ear to ear. It takes you several hours to remember why you're here. You go to search the dragon's cave. The treasures disappeared. You slowly make your way back down to go complete the quest. The king, who's waiting by your tent, looks truly unimpressed. Well, thanks a lot, he says to you. You failed, you silly fool. Sorry, king, you answer back, but calm down, chill, be cool. And so it was, our story ends. Things didn't go your way, but even so, the truth be told, you had a lovely day. You leave the Skellies partying. You sneak into the lair and find the giant treasure room, the diamond waiting there. You pick it up and feel a power surging through your hand. The party noises stop outside. You think you understand. Skeletons! Attack! You scream. The skeletons obey. Half of you, go flank behind. They follow what you say. Climb onto its body, bash its nose, yeah, draw in tight. Everything you say they do. Okay, now win this fight. The skeletons get extra wild. The dragon can't fight back. You start to feel quite bad for it, sustaining this attack. Okay, enough. The skellies stop. Now dragon, go inside. The dragon skulks back in its cave. And now you must decide. The dragon keeps attacking them, is hacking them apart. You see an opportunity, your moment to depart. So off you go, back down the hill, to find the king alone. He's waiting by your little tent. You give to him his stone. Ah, my diamond! Excellent! Well done, you've beat the quest. Now to find the skeletons, I thank you, you're the best. And so it was, our story ends. You didn't think to share that most the skellies got destroyed. 'Twas neither here nor there. You know about these skeletons, the power that you hold. You say, come here, and all at once they do what they've been told. Follow me, you tell them. That's exactly what they do. Make me the ruler of this land. They all bow down to you. And so it was, our story ends. I guess you failed the quest, but now you rule a country, which I mean, this ending is the best. You leave the skelly standing there and walk back to the king. Adventurer, the man calls out. That seems to be his thing. You give him back his diamond. He says a big, thank you. And then he leaves. Our story ends. You've nothing left to do. And so it was. Our story ends. Your epic quest was done. And that was all the poet wrote. You finished. Yes, you won. You clamber up and grab its horn and pull with all your might. As you move its giant head, you steer it left and right. At first it feels uncomfortable. You don't know how to sit, but after just a bit of time, you get the hang of it. Before too long, the dragon seems to listen. It's quite tame. I think I ought to give to you a special dragon name. I'm Toby, says the dragon, and it comes as a surprise. Wait, you can speak? You ask the beast. Of course, we're very wise. And so you chat to Toby. He's quite friendly and, well, grand. You make a plan to go explore some far-off distant land. And so it was, our story ends. You left your little quest. You lived a long and happy life, because dragons are the best. You're hanging by the sword you twist. The dragon gives a roar. The sword comes loose. You tumble down and crash into the floor. And so it was, our story ends. You didn't think that through. Perhaps you shouldn't try to budge the thing that's holding you. You scramble back across the rocks and stand beside the knight. Come on, man, we've got this! Then you draw your sword to fight. The dragon flies towards you, and it takes a massive breath. The flames surround the pair of you and spell your instant death. And so it was, our story ends. It's really quite a shame. Our hero died an awful death, engulfed in dragon flame. You leave Bob for the dragon and sneak further down the cave. It's fine, you think, because Bob's a knight. He's certain to be brave. Behind you, you hear roaring, but you spot huge piles of gold. You block out all the gruesome sounds, although you know that's cold. You spot the magic diamond, so you pluck it from the pile. You feel its power tugging you. It somehow makes you smile. You sneak back down from where you came. You think you'll see the beast munching on the sorry knight, a proud and noble feast. But no, you see the man alive, the dragon lying dead. Bob's only gone and done it. But how? You scratch your head. I don't know, Bob shrugs at you. I guess I'm strong. I just struck out and hit the thing. It didn't last too long. You look at him. He looks at you. You feel a bit unsure. The way he fought back down the hill, he seemed, quite frankly, poor. Let's go back and find the king. You let him lead the way. You walk back down in silence because you're not sure what to say. You spot a group of skeletons beside the mountain track. They're silently just standing there. You fear they might attack. You lie down on the chalky ground. Before too long you sleep. The air is cool. Your little nap is comfortable and deep. Wake up! Wake up! The knight returns, and in his hand the stone. You did it! Yes, and what is more, I did it all alone. Well, let's go back and find the king. Okay, you lead the way. You can't believe your luck. Well, follow me, you say. You walk back through the forest. By your tent you spot the king. Sir Bob, he says. No, that's Ray. And look, he's got your thing. The king looks quite suspicious as he reaches out his hand. Sir Bob gives him the diamond, and it all goes just as planned. Well, nearly. The king and Bob do chat a while and realise how you lied. Then Bob gets all the credit, and you just get swept aside. And so it was, our story ends, in some ways a success, though Bob got all the glory, and you got rather less. The knight goes charging up the hill and off into the lair. You hide behind a rocky wall. You guess you'll catch him there. Inside you hear an awful noise, a mighty dragon's roar. You cannot peek, but Ray is dead. He must be. You're quite sure. You wait and wait and wait some more. You're thinking what to do. But then you see the knight return. He's right in front of you. Yeah! You shout in ambush. But the knight is really quick. He punches you right in the rib. It makes you kind of sick. So that's your plan, you little wretch, he says, then wanders off. Whatever you are trying to say just comes out as a cough. And so it was, our story ends. The knight just stole the gem. He came across the skeletons and took control of them. You draw your sword and slash at him. He dodges left and right. You're ready for his actions, though, because now you've seen him fight. You drop down low and swipe his legs. He jumps and flips aside. Stepping back, he laughs at you, then dashes back inside. He slashes, thwacks and slices, thrashing round with frightful speed. You block his blows. Again, you spot the space you need. He drops his guard to swing his blade. You quickly thrust with yours. It finds its mark. You drive it home. His crimson liquid pours. You leave his body lying there and quickly skulk away. You trace your path back out the cave and to the light of day. Ahead you spot some skeletons. They're standing there quite still. They look a bit ridiculous just standing on the hill. Whoa, slow down, just chill, you tell the wound-up knight. Look, you want the diamond, fine, just take it, that's all right. The knight looks quite distrustful as he reaches for the stone. You give it him, he walks away and leaves you there alone. Well, alone with all that treasure. You don't care about the quest. He might have got the diamond, but you have all the rest. You grab as much as you can take and shove it in your bag. Cups and rings and necklaces. Just so much shiny swag. And so it was, our story ends. The quest might be a fail, but you're rich, who cares? It's fine, you're grand. You've lived to tell the tale. Bow down! I am your master! The skeletons drop down. It seems that they agree with you, so now to go to town. Take me to the palace! I think I'll rule this land! The skeletons all walk away. They seem to understand. They march you to the city, and no one blocks their way. Then you sit upon the throne. You've had a long old day. And so it was, our story ends. You failed the quest for sure. But now you rule the country, so really, that's a score. You walk back down to find the king. He's not moved one bit. He looks at you, disgusted by the blood and gore and grit. I've got your diamond, here it is. You quickly give it back. Oh, thank you, brave adventurer. He pops it in his sack. And so it was, our story ends. You got a nice reward, a lot of golden treasure, and you kept that second sword. The king? What's that? The king, you know. He wears a crown and cloak. No idea. Not heard of him. He sounds a funny bloke. You've never heard of him? The king? Nope, not that I'm aware. The skeleton looks unsure of you. Oh, okay. Well, you take care. The skeletons all walk away. They back into the trees. You take the other path, uphill. There's a pleasant, gentle breeze. You reach the top and see the cave. It's massive, dark and grim. You head inside and sneaky sneak. It's really very dim. Then you hear the skeletons. They followed you in here. They're loud and very clumsy, and the dragon's bound to hear. The king's down there. He's hiding out. Well, can you take us there? Sure, why not, you say to them. I'm certain he won't care. So then you lead the skeletons, you walk back to your tent. It's not until they see him that you realise their intent. Oh, you say as they descend and tear apart the king. You guess you should have known this was their plan right from the start. And so it was, our story ends. You failed on the king's quest. You never told another soul, which worked out for the best. No sooner have you found your spot to hide yourself from sight. The dragons on the skeletons. They start their gruesome fight. You keep on hiding, because you're brave, until the noise dies down. When at last you take a glimpse, is with a worried frown. The skeletons are done for. Not a one remains intact. Their bones are shattered, scattered across the rocky ground, in fact. And then you see the dragon as it's flying overhead. And then a flash of blinding light. And then... well, you're very dead. And so it was, our story ends. You did your best to hide. It's just a shame the skellies fell. And then you went and died. Beside the spooky skeletons, you hold your blade in hand. This is it, you tell yourself, a hero's final stand. The dragon flies up overhead. It's higher than your reach. You pass your hands across the floor and take some rocks in each. You throw them at the dragon and you hit it in the eye. It veers about. Inside the cave there's little room to fly. So down it comes and up you go. You climb onto its back. The skeletons are swarming now, a multi-pronged attack. You swing your blade a-hacking, cutting deeper every slice. And soon enough the dragon falls. You slayed it. Well done. Nice. You have a hunch. Sit down, you say. The skeletons sit down. Stand up! Come here! They do it all. You ponder with a frown. I'd like to rule this country. Make it happen if you can. And sure enough, they all run off and come up with a plan. They take you to the palace, set you up with crown and throne, and pretty soon you rule the land. It's yours and yours alone. And so it was our hero failed, though failure here's still great. You didn't do the rubbish quest. Instead, you chose your fate. You walk past all the skeletons and back towards your tent. The king is sitting on the ground. He looks at you, intent. Relax, I've got it. Here you go. You chuck the stone his way. What? Adventurer, you did it! Wow, I don't know what to say. And so it was our story ends. The quest was thus complete. You got a few rewards, but nothing worth your noble feat. Okay, you say, the pirates cheer. I'm kind of on a quest, but frankly, now we've got this boat, I think perhaps it's best to go and find some distant lands. We'll have a little tour. There's so much we can go and do, a world we can explore. And so it was, our story ends. You found a fellowship, explorers and adventurers who travelled round by ship. It's kind of weird when you say no. It seemed like you'd agree. The pirates got a bit annoyed and dropped you in the sea. And so it was, our story ends, evicted from their boat. Tied up, you see, it's pretty hard for anyone to float. You charge him with your sword held high and scream with all your might. To your surprise, it all goes quiet. You've broken up the fight. Get 'em! Yell the pirates, and the dragon roars again. And now you're up against the beast and loads of angry men. And so it was, our story ends. You couldn't fight that mob. You died, and somewhat worse than that, you failed to do your job. You leave them fighting, sneak away, and find huge piles of gold. You grab the magic diamond, and you feel a wave of cold. Betray that man, you tell them, and they very quickly do. If the skeletons do something bad, it isn't really you. And thus, with that mentality, a monster ruled the land. An iron fist, a heart of stone, the diamond in your hand. And so it was, our story ends. You failed to beat the quest, but you lived to be a tyrant. I'm appalled and quite impressed. You toss the diamond to the king and say, well, here you are. Oh, you even bought the skeletons. Well, thank you. You're a star. And so it was, our story ends. The king thinks you're the best. You got some rather nice rewards, then found another quest. You make the bone folk follow you and walk them down the hill. And back across the little glade, the king's there waiting still. He looks unsure when you approach, like maybe you'll attack. You toss to him the diamond. I knew you'd make it back. And so it was, our story ends. You win, you beat the quest. The king retained his kingdom, and he thought you were the best. Skeletons! You shout at them. Don't stop! Keep on! Attack! And just like that, the skeletons once more start fighting back. You sneak beyond the bedlam, make it safely down the hill. and head back to your little tent. The king's there waiting still. Adventurer! Oh, there you are! My king, I bring you a stone. And did you find my skeletons? Yeah, I didn't work alone. And so it was, our story ends. You finished up your quest. The king lost all his skeletons, his kingdom, and the rest. You sneak back to the skeletons to check that they're all right. It seems they've all decided that they'd rather halt the fight. You go and ask the closest one, "Excuse me, you okay?" He stands and stares at you, entranced with nothing else to say. Just then the dragon gets to him. It swipes him with a claw, and then it turns to you and quickly takes you in its jaw. And so it was, our story ends. A meaty dragon snack. Those skeletons are pretty weird. Why wouldn't they attack? At first, the dragon wants you off. You almost break your arm, holding as it thrashes round. But then it starts to calm. You whisper it. "Whoa, whoa," you say. It whispers back, "Okay." "Wait, you can speak. Wait, what the heck? I thought I didn't," you say. "Yeah, dragons talk, just not that much. It's easier to fight. Look, can you please get off my face?" Yeah, I can, I guess. All right. The dragon sets you down to earth. "Do you want to be my friend?" The dragon looks at you, bemused. "I guess, well, that depends." It took you both a bit of time, in fact, some several years, to overcome your differences and get past both your fears. And so it was, our story ends. You forgot about the quest and made friends with a dragon, which, I mean, dragons are the best. It turns out you're afraid of heights. It's not that fun to fly. So you decide to just let go. You fall, and then you die. And so it was, our story ends. You didn't think that through. Letting go was pretty much the worst that you could do. You jump into the chaos, swing your sword round once or twice. You hack and slash, you jab and stab, you cut, you strike, you slice. You're vicious, you're unstoppable. The dragon stumbles back. But on you press, you know this is the end, your big attack. You lunge into the dragon, and with one last final push, you bring it down. It's dead, you win, your body feels like mush. "Carry me towards the king," you tell your bony friends. Your will is done, they listen well. And thus our story ends. And so it was, you beat the game. The king was quite impressed. You slayed a monstrous dragon, and you really aced his quest. "Help!" you shout as you run past. The skeletons engage. You hear the dragon just behind roar loudly out of rage. You do not stop to watch the fight. It sounds a bit intense. Instead, you peg it to the king beside your trusty tent. "Here you are," you say to him, and give to him his stone. "Hey, very good. Well done, kind sir. Now off to take my throne." And so it was, our story ends. The king did not succeed. He got eaten by that dragon. But you finished up your deed. The dragon flying just behind. You think you've got the speed to run away? You don't. You're dead. Your plan did not succeed. And so it was, our story ends. You had a good old run, but in the end the scoreboard read, you 0, dragon 1. "Assemble now, my skeletons! I have a task for you. I want to rule this wretched land. Go, make my dreams come true." With that, the skellies walk away. They leave you all alone. Within an hour, they return, then lead you to your throne. With that, that's how our story ends. I guess you failed your quest, but honestly, you're now in charge. So it worked out for the best. You walk past all the skeletons. They're frozen, stood stock still. You take the magic diamond and you walk back down the hill. You trace your steps back through the trees. The king is by your tent. You give to him the diamond, and he seems to be content. And so it was, our story ends. You finished up your quest. The king went off to do his thing. You had a nice long rest. You lead the Skelly army down the hill and back to base. The king is waving happily, a smile upon his face. You even bought the skeletons. You're actually the best. I'll make you knight. I'll give you gold. You smashed this little quest. And so it was. Our story ends. You even spared the beast. The king declared a day for you, the noble wanderer's feast. This diamond's very powerful. Your quest is just a quest. Why not just keep the shiny thing? That's probably the best. And so it was. Our story ends. The skeletons were yours. You kept them round from day to day and made them do your chores. On edge for all the skeletons, you both start your attack, and thankfully your mighty foes don't even hit you back. You slash at them for quite a while and hack them all apart. You leave them broken on the floor and head back to the start. The king is waiting patiently. He smiles as you come near. I bought your magic diamond, king. Most excellent, my dear. And Bob, you helped. I did, my lord. I'll make sure you're promoted. I always value excellence. You've proved yourself devoted. And so it was. Our story ends. You finished up your quest. The king did learn about his men, then was pretty unimpressed. No going back, you tell yourself, and walk in further still. The dragon's fast asleep upon its homemade golden hill. Just as you get close to it, you see it move its head. And just like that, it snaps you up. You're eaten. One gulp. Dead. And so it was. Our story ends. The Skellies woke the beast, and you were just in time for it to have a human feast. Just as you duck down behind a big old jutting rock, you hear the dragon's mighty roar. It comes as quite the shock. The dragon passes overhead, attacks the bony bones. You hear a choir of awful sounds, crunching, roars and groans. The skeletons all dance around. They bring out food and drink. You don't know where they got them from. Now is not the time to think. You join in with their party, forget your task at hand. You just slayed a dragon. You think the king will understand. You party on for hours. It's a riot. It's great fun. And by the time you come back round, there's no one here. No one. You wander in the dragon's den. There's no diamonds and no gold. It's empty, just an empty shell of rock and damp and cold. You head back down to find the king. He's waiting by your tent. I'm sorry, I didn't find your gem. He's not a bit content. And so it was. Our story ends. You slayed the vicious beast, but then you didn't do your quest. Instead, you had a feast. You leave the bonefolk partying and run into the lair. You find a massive pile of gold. The diamond's also there. You grab the shiny crystal and the party stops outside. You're curious. You go back out to see just how it died. It's weird. They've all stopped moving. They stand and stare at you. You kind of know deep down inside the next thing you should do. The pirates nor the dragon see you dashing out the lair. The fighting looks a lot of fun, but you get out of there. You sprint back down the mountain path, across the woods and trees, and find the king awaiting you. Hello, the diamond, please. And so it was. Our story ends. You finished up your quest. Life returned to normal, and you had a big old rest. The fighting looks like lots of fun. You want to have a go. You charge in screaming, sword held high, and take a fatal blow. And so it was. Our story ends. You didn't have a clue if a cannon, sword, or dragon claw was what just finished you. You pop back out from where you lie and see an awful sight. Bones are scattered everywhere. The dragon looks all right. It snarls at you. You wave, hello. It sneers an evil sneer. Then, from the corners of its mouth, huge glowing flames appear. And so it was. Our story ends. You smelt like roasted duck. The dragon licked its scaly lips, and into you it tugged. Sneaking off, you let them fight. You find the dragon's gold, and quickly grab the diamond. Then you feel a wave of cold. The sound of fighting dies away. You go to check it out. The skeletons have frozen, standing still, until you shout, "Skeletons, attack! Come on!" And so they fight again. You sneak your way around them all, and out the dragon's den. Outside, you sprint off down the hill to where you got your quest. The king is there, awaiting you. "My diamond! You're the best!" And so it was, our story ends. The king was pleased, but then he heard about the dragon killing almost all his men.